Hi, hello, hi. How do I even start? This is so hard. This is so hard. This is a new beginning. Gosh, how do I start? Hi, my name is Emily. You can call me Em. I am a Christian, I am a wife, and I am a mother. The fact that I have been doing this introduction for the last 5 minutes just goes to show what we're talking about today is very, very important. Do you ever find yourself procrastinating endlessly to do something? For example, I was supposed to shoot this video 2 weeks ago. Why haven't I done it? I don't know. But that's what we're going to talk about today. So I found I have this major problem of procrastinating things. I'm supposed to do something and I have everything that I need to do what I need to do, but I end up not doing it. And I keep asking myself why. And I think I have an answer. The fear of just doing new things, the fear that you don't know what is around the corner it's so bad. It can stop you from doing everything that you want to do and more. If you're like most people, you are going to make a list of things that you want to accomplish this year. You're going to have New Year's resolutions, right? You want to exercise, maybe even eat healthier, or maybe you want to start a new business, or maybe you want to grow your relationships with other people. Oh yeah, here's a common one. You want to start reading the Bible and you want to finish it. You want to finish reading the Bible either in 90 days or the year or so I've started a plan for 3 years. So yeah, you have these New Year's resolutions. You're about to go out there into 2021. Instead of just starting, you just find excuses of not doing what you're supposed to do. And then by the time we're in March, tulishafanya funeral the things that you were supposed to do. You were supposed to eat healthy. That one you even buried and moved on. Or you were supposed to exercise. Baka sasa now you've given up and 2022 itafika tu. But there's always that fear of beginning something new. There's always that fear of I don't know what is ahead of me. I don't know where I'm going, what I'm going to do. Even though I have a clear, I have made a plan, right? But I'm just afraid of doing all these things. I am a pastry chef and I have had my business since 2016, and starting that business was a fight. It was such a fight to begin that business. I left formal employment twice trying to start that business, and I just couldn't. I just kept on saying no. I'm not a business person, and it took so long for me to actually bake a cake that I could sell. My friends kept on telling me, Emily, you bake good cakes, si utuzie. But no, I almost went broke saying no to people because I couldn't come to terms with the idea that I was going to start a business. I felt like I just was not equipped for it. Start a business. Too hard. It took a long while because I started baking cakes for friends, and then eventually people were like, situzie. And then I started selling one at a time. But it took a long time for me to actually acknowledge that I was now a baker. Of course, I was trained in hospitality, but I didn't see myself as a business person. And then later on, as a business grew, some friends of mine, they were getting married, and they came up to me and they're like, "Hiya, Emily, you know what? We actually like your cakes. Why don't you bake for us our wedding cake?" No. You have it all wrong. Number one, I do not bake for weddings, okay? And a friend of mine was standing close by. Alikuja mbio. She was like, "No, you're taking that business. What are you saying?" What are you saying? But I was so scared to take people's money, and I almost didn't start my wedding cake business. Hey, big up to Ragai and Sophie for trusting me with my very first wedding cake. But it came out so well. Okay, granted, I was scared. Like the whole time I just kept on thinking, I'm gonna mess up. So nimepewa pesa. Like I've been given money. Let me tell you, if a wedding cake fails, hey, do you know I've had wedding cake fails? Everyone sees it. It's like people just come to see two things. They come to see the cake and eat the cake as well, and see the bride and the groom. Nyo ingine ni others. Hey, and then you want to tell me a cake can fail? Yeah, too hard. And wedding cakes ended up becoming like a very big part of my cake business. But like, you see how I was so scared. I had baked cakes like for a while before I made wedding cakes. Why was I so scared? And then I became such a professional in that area that like I could do it with my eyes closed. Like I didn't even think much about it. Like it was just, I bake wedding cakes and it was just a thing I do. It's so easy to have all these different excuses of why you don't want to begin something. I don't want to put myself out there. You can kill so many ideas. Think about all the ideas that you have, things that you want to do, but you end up not doing them. Oh, that's me. Oh yeah, trust me, that is me. I kill business ideas with excuses. I have like this grand idea, yeah? And then I go to my husband, like, you know what? This is an idea. Niambia, hey, imeweza. Hey, just give me one day and I will kill it with a bunch of excuses, and then eventually I just don't end up doing it. I feel like I should be writing these things down. Maybe one day if I have the courage, I'll start all these two businesses that I've wanted to start all that well. But yeah, it's so scary. Like right now, if I think about it, right? This is like my very first video on YouTube, and it took me a very, very long time for me to even start posting on IG. Hey, I would like scrutinize every word, every sentence, every comma, every like so hard. I'm just wasn't a social media person. And then think about it, I'm here on YouTube. I don't know, maybe in a few years I'll be like so good at it, like people will start now coming to ask me like, how do I do it? But in the beginning it was scary. But I keep wondering, what does God say about fear, right? Because there's that fear of there's different kinds of fear, right? So there's that fear of you fear God, right? The Bible talks about fear of God, and that is, in fact, the Bible commands us to fear God. That's not the kind of fear we're talking about. That kind of fear is a fear of awe. I know we use the word awesome a lot, probably shouldn't. Like awe, like God is awesome. Like, so you stand in amazement of him. Maybe that's like a different word for that. Like you stand in amazement of God. We are commanded to do that. And then there's the other kind of fear. You know, like the kind of fear of a legitimate kind of fear where you fear, say, things that could harm you. By the way, I am deathly. Is that the word? I am deathly afraid. Is that the word? Anyway, I have a death-like fear of snakes. But the Bible does in many ways command us not to be afraid, especially of things that are fearful. Remember what Peter tells the people in the church that he's writing to, telling the ladies in that church to be like Sarah and not to be afraid of anything that is frightening. So not to be afraid is a command that God continuously gives the Israelites, especially through Isaiah. Isaiah 40 and 41 is filled with commandments of do not be afraid, do not be afraid. Even though, you know, he was telling them that I'm going to judge you for your sin. But he tells them not to be afraid because there is hope at the end of the day, right? So if I think about that time when I was starting a business, and this really helped me, it helped me to see that in as much as the world of business is scary, it cannot be as scary as not living how God has called us to, right? There is no fear that you have that is greater than your God. Even as I start this channel, in Philippians 4:6, I've been reminded not to fear, not to be afraid, not to be anxious, not to be anxious of anything, but in everything, in prayer and supplication, to make our requests known to God. Because, just remembering that I have a message, I have God's blessing to do this, and so I shouldn't be afraid. I shouldn't be afraid to do what is frightening, but to trust that God is with me as I begin the journey. So I hope and pray that you'll be encouraged. If you're about to begin something this new year, just start it. Just pray about it. Confess to God that you're afraid. I mean, God does give us feelings for a reason. We get afraid because for a reason, right? I'm not telling you not. Okay, well, I am telling you not to be afraid, but not, you're going to have those feelings, but it is good to remember not to give way to those feelings, but to take those feelings to God and tell him, I am afraid. So Lord, I am afraid of starting this YouTube channel, and trust that he will lead you as you go into the new year. Click on that subscribe button and then ring that bell on the side, ding, ding. And then every time I post a new video, you will know. And then share, tell your friends about it.